There is a quiet stillness within you, a sacred space that has always been untouched by circumstance, a space where your soul remembers its eternal home. And it is here, in this silence, that you are about to discover something so profound, so unshakably true, that it will forever change the way you look at your life. Life, as you know it, is not the sum of your failures, your losses, or your disappointments. Life is not measured by what has been taken from you, nor by the closed doors you encounter along your journey. No, life is a living, breathing expression of the divine, a constant unfolding of possibility, and this very moment is the perfect doorway into a miracle that has been waiting just for you. I want you to take a deep breath and hear these words as if they are being spoken directly to your soul. God is about to surprise you. God is about to open a window where you only see walls. God is about to release a river of grace into the dry and barren fields of your heart. And you may not yet see it, you may not yet feel it, but the divine never works hurriedly. The divine never rushes, and yet the timing is always perfect. The universe conspires in your favor, even when you feel utterly alone, even when every effort you have made seems to have failed. There is a creative intelligence at work, an infinite source of wisdom and love that has never left your side, that has never forgotten your name, that knows the deepest desires of your heart before you even speak them aloud. You see, too often we measure our lives by the walls that have risen around us. We look at closed doors and broken dreams and we whisper to ourselves, "This is as far as I can go." But let me tell you, your limitations are illusions and your failures are only the fertile soil where the divine will plants seeds of unimaginable beauty. Every pain, every setback, every moment of despair is a divine invitation to surrender. And surrender does not mean weakness. Surrender means alignment. Surrender means letting go of the ego's desperate need to control, to predict, to fix, and allowing the infinite wisdom of the divine to guide you. Can you feel it? The soft, gentle whisper that says, "I am here. I have never left. I have never abandoned you." That whisper is the voice of your soul, the voice of God within you, reminding you that you are not your mistakes, you are not your past, and you are certainly not the sum of the fears that have held you hostage. You are far more magnificent than your doubts, far more powerful than your circumstances, and far more worthy of love than you have ever been told. And right now, this very instant, you are being called to awaken to that truth. Consider this. Every door that has closed, every relationship that has ended, every job that slipped through your fingers, every dream that seemed impossible, these are not punishments. They are not signs of failure. They are simply the divine clearing space for something new, something greater, something that aligns perfectly with the essence of who you truly are. And when you finally release the grip of fear, when you finally stop resisting and fighting, when you let go of the past and all its burdens, you will feel the shift. You will feel the current of life carrying you effortlessly toward the miracles you have longed for. I want you to imagine for a moment a river. This river has been flowing for eons, its waters sparkling with the reflection of the stars, whispering secrets of the universe to the stones and trees along its banks. Now imagine that you are standing at the edge of this river, parched and weary, and yet the waters are reaching out to you, inviting you to step in, to immerse yourself, to be cleansed and renewed. That river is the presence of God, flowing endlessly, tirelessly through every part of your life. And no matter how dry the land seems, no matter how cracked the soil of your heart may appear, those waters are always reaching for you, ready to awaken you to a life of abundance, joy, and divine purpose. Many of us have been taught to measure our worth by what we accomplish, by the approval we receive, by the validation of others. But the truth, the eternal truth, is that your value is intrinsic. You are a divine being created in the image of infinite love. You are already enough. You are already complete. And when you embrace this truth, when you live from the knowing that you are sufficient, that you are whole, you will find doors opening in ways you never could have imagined. Opportunities will arise that were previously invisible. Relationships will deepen in ways that bring healing, not pain. And your heart, once burdened with doubt and fear, will soar in the freedom of knowing that God's grace has always been sufficient. I invite you now to release every resentment, every bitterness, every story of betrayal that you have carried. Forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. Forgiveness unshackles the soul and allows the spirit to rise. When you forgive, you are not condoning wrongs. You are simply recognizing that you are stepping into the power of your own divine freedom. And in that freedom, you create space for God to work wonders in your life. You create space for miracles that have been waiting patiently for the perfect moment to manifest. Let us talk about fear for a moment. Fear is the great deceiver. Fear whispers you are alone, you are powerless, you will never overcome. But the soul knows differently. The soul knows that you are never alone, that you have always been equipped with everything you need, that the power of the universe flows through you in every heartbeat, in every breath. When fear arises, do not fight it, do not resist it. Instead, let it come and let it go. Observe it. Thank it for reminding you that you are alive. And then, with a gentle smile, turn back to the truth. God is about to surprise you. God is about to reveal to you what you could not see. God is about to shift the landscape of your life in a way that will leave you breathless with awe. Perhaps you have been waiting for signs, for confirmations, for some external proof that change is possible. I want you to know that the proof is already within you. The proof is in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the stillness of your mind when the world grows quiet. The proof is in the divine spark that has never left you, that has never doubted you, that has never stopped loving you. And when you attune to that inner truth, when you allow the divine to guide you rather than resist you, you will see that every closed door was simply the preparation for the opening of a door far greater than you could have imagined. Your life is not a series of random events. Your challenges are not punishments. Your mistakes are not failures. Everything is orchestrated by a love so vast, so infinite, that it cannot be measured by human standards. Every setback, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt is a stepping stone toward awakening, toward the realization that your life is a sacred work of art, crafted not by your hand alone, but by the infinite Creator who knows you intimately and loves you without condition. So I invite you here and now to step forward in faith. Step forward knowing that God's power is not something distant or separate. It is within you. It is the very essence of who you are. When you let go of control, when you release the need to understand every twist and turn, you will discover that life is not a struggle to survive, but a dance to be enjoyed, a river to be experienced, a miracle to be witnessed in real time. And as you move through this life, remember that every challenge is an invitation to grow, every obstacle an opportunity to awaken, every moment a chance to step into the truth of who you are. The divine has not abandoned you. The divine has not forgotten you. And in this very moment, the universe is aligning, conspiring, orchestrating a symphony of blessings that is uniquely yours. God is about to surprise you. Your life is about to change forever. And when it does, you will look back on every closed door, every heartbreak, every fear, and you will smile, because you will know that it was all part of a perfect divine plan, a plan that led you to the freedom, joy, and abundance you were always meant to experience. Trust, surrender, awaken. The divine is calling, and miracles are already on their way. And now, as you breathe in the stillness of this moment, allow yourself to sense the vastness of possibility that surrounds you. You have walked through storms before, and yet, here you are. Each scar, each tear, each restless night has not diminished you. It has prepared you. It has prepared you to receive what you could not have received before, to understand what you could not have understood before, to rise in ways you never imagined possible. The divine does not bring blessings to the unready. The divine brings clarity, insight, and strength to the one who has endured, to the heart that has remained open even when the world grew harsh, to the spirit that still dares to believe in miracles. Perhaps you have felt the weight of disappointment pressing upon your chest, or the heaviness of a dream deferred lingering in your heart. Know this: nothing has been wasted. Every experience has been a lesson, every hardship a teacher, every closed door a guidepost directing you toward the path that aligns with your highest good. And when you release the grip on what you thought your life should look like, when you stop trying to force outcomes, you make room for the divine to orchestrate a reality far more magnificent than anything your mind could conceive. Imagine, just for a moment, a garden hidden deep within your being. For years, it may have been untended, overgrown with doubts, fears, and regrets. But even in its quiet neglect, life has been stirring beneath the surface. Seeds have been planted, seeds of hope, seeds of wisdom, seeds of courage, and now, when the time is right, the sun of divine grace shines upon that garden. The rains of understanding fall gently and slowly, steadily, those seeds begin to sprout. Buds of insight appear where despair once grew. Flowers of joy bloom where sorrow once lay. And you, the gardener, awaken to the wonder that life has always been nurturing you, preparing you, shaping you for this precise moment of awakening. You may ask yourself, why now? Why me? And the answer is both simple and profound, because you are ready. Because the universe has been waiting for this very alignment of heart, mind, and soul. Because God's timing is perfect, and it is never late. You are not too broken, not too flawed, not too late for this transformation. In fact, it is often those who have walked the longest, those who have faced the deepest darkness, who are most prepared to receive the light of miracles. And as that light touches you, it will illuminate paths you never saw, opportunities you never imagined, and possibilities that have been waiting quietly, patiently for you to claim them. Consider how often you have doubted your own worth, how often you have measured yourself by standards that were never meant for you. Let that go. Release it now. You are not defined by what you lack, by the mistakes you have made, or by the judgments of others. You are defined by the eternal spark within you, the divine essence that is your true self, the part of you that has always known the truth, that you are loved, that you are worthy, that you are capable of receiving all that life and God have intended for you. And when you embrace this truth, when you allow it to penetrate the deepest layers of your being, you begin to move through life differently, not with fear, but with faith, not with doubt, but with trust, not with hesitation, but with courage. It is in this state of openness that miracles begin to flow. Perhaps they will come as answers you never thought possible, perhaps as opportunities that seem to appear from nowhere, perhaps as insights so profound that they shift your perspective entirely. And when they arrive, you will recognize them not as accidents, not as luck, but as the natural unfolding of divine love in your life. The universe does not make mistakes. Every encounter, every challenge, every twist and turn has been orchestrated to bring you closer to your true purpose, to awaken you to your highest potential, to remind you that God has never stopped working on your behalf. And so, take a moment to imagine your life as a canvas. The past has left its marks, some bold and some faint, but they are only part of the picture. You hold the brush now, guided by the hand of the divine. With each stroke, you create beauty, harmony, and meaning. You are not bound by previous patterns, not limited by old regrets, not trapped by fears that once held you hostage. You are free to paint the masterpiece of your life, to step into the brilliance that is your birthright, to claim the joy, love, and abundance that have always been waiting for you. Listen closely to the quiet whisper within. That is the voice of God, the voice of your soul, calling you to trust, to surrender, and to embrace the life you have always been destined to live. Every breath you take is infused with possibility. Every moment is pregnant with potential. And when you finally allow yourself to believe, to fully surrender, to open your heart without reservation, you will witness the extraordinary truth that the divine has been moving, always moving, to bring you into the fullness of your destiny. So step forward now, not cautiously, not hesitantly, but boldly. Step forward with faith as your compass, love as your guide, and trust as your constant companion. Step forward knowing that God is about to surprise you, that your life is about to change forever, and that the miracles that have long been waiting for you are already making their way into your experience. You are not alone. You are never alone. And as you embrace this truth, as you live it fully, you will discover the unimaginable freedom, the profound joy, and the boundless love that has always been your birthright. And as you continue walking this path, notice how the burdens you have carried begin to feel lighter, almost imperceptible. The weight of regret, the heaviness of resentment, the fear of repeating old mistakes, they begin to dissolve like mist under the morning sun. And you realize something profound. You were never meant to carry these burdens alone. They were never yours to cling to. They were meant to teach you, to refine you, and to guide you toward the recognition of your own inner power. Each struggle was a teacher, each disappointment a doorway, each heartbreak a key. And now the locks are opening, slowly, gently, perfectly timed, as God orchestrates the symphony of your awakening. Can you feel the gentle stirring inside you, a subtle but persistent movement? That is the divine within, awakening you to the truth that you are not the sum of your problems, not the weight of your past, not the scars of yesterday. You are a living expression of infinite intelligence, a reflection of timeless love, a vessel through which miracles flow effortlessly. And when you understand this, when you truly embody it, life begins to shift in ways that are subtle at first, almost imperceptible, and then suddenly, undeniably, breathtakingly, you find yourself standing in the midst of a miracle you never could have planned, a blessing you never could have imagined, a life more abundant and more radiant than your mind ever dared to conceive. Consider for a moment the metaphor of a seed buried in darkness. You may have planted it years ago. You may have watered it inconsistently, doubted it constantly, questioned whether it would ever sprout, and yet, deep beneath the soil, unseen, untouched by the winds of doubt or the storms of fear, life has been preparing itself. Roots have grown unseen but steady. Energy from the sun, filtered through the clouds, has nourished it. And one day, not according to your schedule, not at the time you demanded, but at the perfect, divinely appointed moment, that seed breaks through the soil, reaches for the sky, and blossoms in radiant beauty. That seed is your life. That breakthrough is your awakening. And God is about to make it happen, not because you forced it, not because you begged for it, but because you are ready to receive it fully. And perhaps you ask, why me? Why now? The answer is as simple as it is profound. Because your soul has been calling for this. Because the universe has been orchestrating every detail to bring you here. Because the divine plan is always perfect, and its timing is always precise. There is no accident in your journey, no randomness in the steps you have taken, no coincidences in the doors that have opened or closed. Every experience, every challenge, every joy, and every sorrow has been guiding you to this precise moment where you stand at the threshold of transformation, ready to receive the gifts that have been waiting for you. I want you to see yourself now as a magnificent vessel, polished by every trial, strengthened by every challenge, purified by every disappointment, and ready to receive the infinite love, guidance, and abundance of the divine. You are a mirror reflecting the light of creation, a conduit through which miracles are expressed, a living testament to the power of surrender, trust, and faith. And as you stand in this awareness, as you breathe this truth into the very marrow of your being, you will notice doors opening that were previously invisible. Opportunities will arise that seem almost magical. Relationships will deepen, align perfectly with the soul connections that were always meant to be. And your heart, once heavy with doubt, will soar in the boundless freedom of knowing that the divine has never left you and never will. Now, let us talk about fear, for it is often the final barrier to experiencing the fullness of life. Fear whispers lies. You are not ready. You are not enough. You cannot handle this. But the truth, the eternal truth, is that you have always been ready. You have always been enough. You have always been capable. Fear is only a shadow, a temporary illusion, a reminder that the ego is still clinging to control. And when you shine the light of consciousness upon it, when you recognize it, acknowledge it, and then release it, it evaporates, leaving only the clarity, the courage, and the profound sense of peace that comes from living aligned with the divine. Think of life as a vast ocean, infinite in its depth and wisdom. The surface may sometimes appear turbulent, with waves of challenge and storms of circumstance, but beneath the surface lies a calm, unshakable stillness. That stillness is your true nature. That stillness is God within you. And when you dive beneath the waves of fear, when you sink into that infinite calm, you discover the truth that nothing can harm you, nothing can separate you from your divine essence, nothing can limit the miraculous life that is your birthright. And what about the past, that long shadow that sometimes seems to follow us wherever we go? It is time to release it. The past is not a prison, it is a teacher. Every regret, every mistake, every heartbreak has served its purpose, to bring you here, to awaken you, to prepare you for this moment of divine revelation. And when you forgive the past, not just others, but yourself, you unchain your soul. You lift the veil that obscured your vision. You create space for miracles, abundance, and love to flow freely into your life. Forgiveness is not a weakness. It is the ultimate act of strength, the highest form of liberation, and the doorway through which the divine enters fully into your experience. And now, as you stand on the precipice of this new reality, hear this. God is about to surprise you in ways that exceed your imagination. It may come as a whisper, a gentle nudge, a small but profound opportunity. It may come as a tidal wave of grace, a moment of undeniable clarity, an encounter that shifts your entire life trajectory. Whatever form it takes, know that it is perfectly designed for you, aligned with your highest good, and orchestrated by the infinite intelligence of the universe. You have been patient, you have endured, you have remained faithful even when hope seemed distant. And now, in this sacred moment, all that you have longed for, all that you have prayed for, all that your soul has quietly dreamed in the stillness of the night is being brought forth. And as it arrives, you will feel an overwhelming sense of awe, of gratitude, of uncontainable joy. For you will know deep within that you are loved beyond measure, guided without fail, and supported in every step by the eternal hand of God. And so I invite you, here and now, to step forward fully, courageously, and without reservation. Step forward with faith as your compass, trust as your guide, and love as your constant companion. Step into the new reality that is awaiting you, the life that has always been yours to claim, the miracles that have been patiently waiting for you to awaken and receive them. You are not alone. You are never alone. And in the fullness of this knowing, you will discover the boundless power, infinite love, and limitless potential that has always been your birthright. And now, as you stand on the edge of this awakening, feel the pulse of life beneath your feet, the rhythm of the universe echoing in your heart. Every breath you take is a symphony, every heartbeat a reminder that you are alive, that you are here, that you are ready. And in this readiness, something extraordinary begins to stir, a quiet, profound knowing that the impossible is not only possible, but already in motion, already reaching toward you. You do not need to force it. You do not need to chase it. You only need to open the doors within, to release the walls you have built around your heart, and allow the divine to pour through. Notice how your mind begins to soften, how the chatter of doubt and fear begins to fade into the background, like clouds parting to reveal the infinite sky. In their place rises a gentle clarity, a luminous awareness that you are more than your circumstances, more than your mistakes, more than the stories you have told yourself about what is possible. You are a living miracle, a spark of the infinite, a soul infinitely capable of creating, receiving, and embodying all the beauty that life has prepared for you. And as you feel this truth coursing through you, you understand that the divine has never left, has never doubted you, and has always been quietly, patiently orchestrating the perfect unfolding of your life. Imagine, just for a moment, a vast ocean of golden light. It stretches beyond your vision, endless, eternal. And within it, every sorrow you have carried dissolves. Every regret is washed away. Every fear melts like morning mist. You are floating, fully supported, fully cradled by the presence of God. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to resist. All that remains is a perfect, radiant peace, a knowing that your life is being transformed, that your path is being illuminated, that your soul is awakening to the limitless possibilities that have always been yours to claim. And as you rest in this awareness, understand this: life is not a puzzle to be solved. It is a song to be sung. Each note, each pause, each rise and fall is composed with intention, orchestrated with love, designed to awaken the depths of your soul. And you, dear one, are both the singer and the audience, the creator and the witness, the miracle and the one who marvels at it. There is a beauty in surrender, a liberation in trust, a joy in knowing that you do not have to carry the weight of life alone. The universe is dancing with you, breathing with you, celebrating your presence, your awakening, your becoming. And in this dance, miracles arise as naturally as sunlight spilling over a quiet hill, as naturally as waves reaching the shore, as naturally as your heart opening to the love that has always surrounded you. Do not seek them. Do not strive for them. Simply be. Simply know. Simply allow. For the divine has already set the stage, has already written the script, has already painted the masterpiece, and you are now stepping into the full expression of it, alive, awake, radiant, and free. You are ready to receive. You are ready to be seen, to be loved, to be celebrated. You are ready for every blessing that has been awaiting your recognition, every opportunity that has been patiently gathering momentum. every divine arrangement that has been quietly moving into alignment for your highest good. And as you breathe, as you walk, as you live in this knowing, you will feel a deep, unshakable joy rising from the core of your being, a joy that cannot be taken away, a joy that no circumstance can diminish, a joy that whispers constantly, "You are loved, you are enough, you are exactly where you are meant to be." So, now, step fully into this life that has been waiting for you. Step forward with courage, with faith, with love as your guide. Let every action, every thought, every intention be infused with the awareness that you are a co-creator with the divine, a partner in miracles, a beacon of possibility. And in this knowing, you will see doors open where none existed, paths appear where there was only uncertainty, and miracles unfold with effortless grace, for you have remembered who you truly are, infinite, whole, beloved, and capable of receiving all that God has prepared. And finally, let your soul rest in this truth, let your heart rejoice, and let your life be a testament to the reality that God is always moving on your behalf, that God is always conspiring for your good, and that God's surprises are not just possibilities, they are inevitable. You have waited, you have hoped, you have believed, and now the moment has arrived. Your life is changing, your spirit is awakening, and the divine is revealing in magnificent and extraordinary ways that all is well, all is love, all is perfectly orchestrated, and all is yours to receive. God is about to surprise you. Your life is about to change forever. And as it does, let your soul rise, let your heart sing, and let every cell of your being remember with profound clarity and unshakable joy that you are eternally loved, eternally guided, and eternally free. There is a quiet wisdom that lives beneath all the noise of your thinking, beneath the urgency of your plans, beneath the restless habit of trying to control what has never truly been yours to manage. It speaks softly, patiently, without urgency or force, and it has been speaking to you your entire life. It says, in a voice that feels more like remembering than learning, that life is not asking you to wrestle it into submission. Life is asking you to trust it. Most of the suffering we experience does not come from what happens to us, but from the tension we create by resisting what is. Resistance is subtle. It disguises itself as responsibility, as vigilance, as being prepared. But beneath it lies a quiet fear, the belief that if you loosen your grip, everything will fall apart. And yet, the opposite has always been true. The tighter you cling, the more strained life becomes. The moment you soften, something extraordinary begins to happen. Imagine trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes you. But when you open your hand, when you allow it to rest gently in your palm, it remains. Life responds the same way. It flows toward openness, not force. It aligns with surrender, not struggle. Letting go is not giving up. It is giving in to something wiser than the ego's need to dominate outcomes. It is recognizing that there is an intelligence moving through the universe that has been orchestrating galaxies, seasons, heartbeats, and breath long before you arrived with your to-do list and your worries. You did not create this intelligence, and you cannot improve upon it, but you can align with it. The ego resists this idea because it survives on control. The ego believes that your worth is measured by how much you manage, how much you predict, how much you defend yourself against uncertainty. It whispers that if you stop striving, you will be left behind. If you stop worrying, you will be unprepared. If you stop resisting, you will be vulnerable. But vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is openness, and openness is where miracles enter. A miracle is not a violation of natural law. It is a shift in perception. It is what happens when you stop insisting that life conform to your fears and allow yourself to see what has been available all along. When you release resistance, you are not abandoning discernment or wisdom. You are abandoning the illusion that you are separate from the flow of life. Notice how often your mind revisits the past, replaying moments that cannot be changed, rehearsing conversations that have already ended, carrying resentments like heavy stones in your pocket. The past survives only because you keep breathing life into it. And every time you do, you steal energy from the present moment, the only place where peace actually exists. The universe does not operate in yesterday. It operates in now. Healing happens now. Insight happens now. Love happens now. The moment you release your attachment to how things should have been, you reclaim the power to experience how things are. And how things are when seen without resistance, is often far kinder than the stories you tell yourself. Forgiveness is one of the most profound forms of letting go, not because it excuses behavior, but because it releases you from being emotionally chained to it. There are no justified resentments if your goal is peace. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to feel the effects. When you forgive, you are not declaring that the past was acceptable. You are declaring that your future matters more than your pain. Surrender is often misunderstood as passivity. In truth, it is the most empowered state you can occupy. When you surrender, you stop arguing with reality. You stop demanding guarantees before you move forward. You trust that the same intelligence that brought you this far has not suddenly abandoned you. Think of a leaf floating down a river. It does not know every bend ahead, nor does it need to. It moves with the current, not against it. When obstacles appear, the water does not panic. It flows around them, reshapes itself, continues onward. You are made of that same intelligence. When you stop resisting, you become fluid again. Fear loses its grip when you realize that uncertainty is not the enemy, it is the doorway. Every transformation you have ever experienced began in uncertainty. You did not know how it would unfold, yet something within you moved anyway. That something was not fear, it was trust. Trust is not blind optimism. It is a deep inner knowing that you are supported by life itself. When you trust the flow of the universe, you are not saying that challenges will disappear. You are saying that you will meet them without the added burden of inner conflict. Healing begins within, always. Not when circumstances change, not when people apologize, not when life becomes predictable. Healing begins the moment you stop resisting the truth of who you are. A divine being having a human experience, temporarily forgetting your origin. You are not here to conquer life. You are here to express it. The mind wants answers. The soul wants alignment. When you align with love instead of fear, with acceptance instead of resistance, your outer world reorganizes itself in ways the rational mind could never predict. This is not mystical exaggeration. It is the natural consequence of harmony. Notice how peace feels when you stop trying to control the next moment. Notice the spaciousness that appears when you allow emotions to pass through you without labeling them as enemies. Emotions are weather patterns, not identities. You are the sky, not the storm. You are already enough, not because you have perfected yourself, but because you were never incomplete. The belief that you must become something else to deserve peace is one of the ego's most persistent illusions. Peace is not a reward for improvement. It is your natural state when you stop resisting yourself. When you release control, you make room for guidance. When you surrender fear, intuition speaks more clearly. When you trust the flow of the universe, life responds with opportunities, connections, and insights that feel almost effortless. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Miracles often arrive quietly. They do not always announce themselves with fireworks. Sometimes they appear as a gentle shift in perspective, a softened heart, a sense of calm where anxiety once lived. Sometimes the greatest miracle is simply realizing that you no longer need to fight. Acceptance does not mean you approve of everything that happens. It means you stop arguing with the fact that it has happened. From that place of acceptance, wise action becomes possible. From resistance, only exhaustion follows. As you move through life, you will be tempted again and again to tighten your grip, to demand certainty, to resist change. When that happens, pause, breathe. Ask yourself whether your suffering is coming from the situation or from your insistence that it be different. This single question has the power to dissolve years of struggle. Letting go is not a one-time decision. It is a practice, a gentle, daily choice to trust life more than fear, to listen to the soul more than the ego, to flow rather than force. Each time you choose acceptance, you step closer to your true nature. And here is the quiet truth that changes everything. The universe is not testing you. It is responding to you. When you resist, it reflects resistance. When you trust, it reflects support. When you let go, it reveals its generosity. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world alone. You were meant to participate in a dance with life, guided by an intelligence far greater than the thinking mind. When you stop resisting and let go, you do not lose yourself. You finally come home. And in that home, Miracles are not rare events. They are simply what happens when you allow life to move through you, unobstructed as it always has. And as you rest in this remembering, something subtle begins to rearrange itself inside you. The urgency softens. The inner voice that once demanded certainty grows quiet, not because it has been silenced, but because it has finally been heard. In that silence, you discover that peace is not something you manufacture through effort. It is something that rises naturally when you stop interfering with your own being. There is a sacred intelligence in pauses. The ego rushes because it believes time is scarce, but the soul knows that timing is precise. When you stop forcing the next step and allow yourself to be present with this one, clarity appears without struggle. Guidance does not shout. It arrives as a gentle nudge, a calm sense of direction, a feeling of resonance rather than pressure. You recognize it not by excitement, but by ease. You may notice how often your thoughts try to negotiate with life, offering conditions for your happiness. I will be peaceful when this changes. I will trust when I have proof. I will let go when I feel safe. But safety does not precede trust. Trust creates safety. The moment you decide to lean into life rather than brace against it, your nervous system responds, your breath deepens, and your body remembers that it belongs here. There is a deep healing that occurs when you stop trying to outrun discomfort and instead allow it to pass through you. Emotions are not obstacles on the path. They are messages asking for acknowledgement. When you meet them with compassion instead of resistance, they complete their purpose and dissolve. What remains is not emptiness, but spaciousness, the kind that allows insight to arrive unannounced. You are not here to perfect the human experience. You are here to experience it fully, without self-condemnation. The moments you judge yourself for struggling are the very moments that call for gentleness. Growth is not linear. Awakening is not a straight ascent. It is a spiral of remembering, forgetting, and remembering again, each time with a little more grace. When you stop insisting on being right, you gain access to being free. The need to be right is a subtle form of resistance, a way the ego protects its identity. But freedom does not require validation. It requires openness. In openness, you discover that you can hold opposing truths without fracture, that life is complex and still benevolent, that you do not need to reduce it to understand it. There is a profound shift that happens when you realize you do not have to chase meaning. Meaning emerges from presence. When you are fully here, washing a dish, listening to a friend, feeling your breath, life reveals itself as sacred without effort. Ordinary moments become luminous when they are met without agenda. You may have been taught to believe that strength looks like endurance without rest, like persistence without softness. Yet true strength is the courage to relax into what is real. It is the willingness to say, I do not know, and remain open. It is the humility to be guided rather than driven. As you release the habit of resistance, you begin to sense a quiet companionship with life. You feel less alone, not because circumstances have changed, but because separation has dissolved. You recognize that the same presence listening to these words is the presence that animates all things. This is not philosophy, it is experience, available whenever you stop arguing with the moment. Letting go does not remove you from the world. It allows you to engage with it more fully, without the armor of fear. You respond rather than react. You choose rather than defend. And in this state, your actions become aligned with love, not obligation. The miracles you seek are not waiting somewhere in the future. They are unfolding now, in the quiet spaces where you choose trust over tension, acceptance over resistance. Each time you soften, you signal to life that you are ready to receive. And life, ever responsive, meets you there. Stay here in this openness. Allow the flow to carry you without needing to know where it leads. You are not being taken away from yourself. You are being returned to what you have always been, whole, supported, and deeply at home in the unfolding mystery of existence. And in this returning, you may notice how the body begins to trust again. The shoulders drop, the jaw loosens. The breath no longer feels like something you must manage, but something that carries you. The body has always known when you are at war with the moment. It tightens in response to your resistance and softens when you allow life to be as it is. Listening to this wisdom is another form of surrender, a way of letting the mind step aside so a deeper intelligence can lead. There is a quiet courage in allowing yourself to feel joy without waiting for permission. The ego often delays happiness as if it must be earned through suffering or justified by achievement. But joy is not a distraction from growth, it is nourishment for it. When you permit yourself to experience lightness without explanation, you affirm your trust in life's benevolence. You declare that well-being does not need a defense. As resistance dissolves, gratitude arises naturally, not as a practice you force, but as a response to seeing clearly. Gratitude is what happens when you recognize how much effort you once spent pushing against what was already carrying you. You begin to notice the quiet supports, the timing that worked out without your planning, the help that arrived unannounced, the inner resilience that appeared when you thought you had none left. These were not accidents. They were always there, waiting for your attention. You may find that your relationships begin to change as well. When you stop resisting yourself, you stop demanding that others complete you, rescue you, or validate your worth. You meet them as they are, not as solutions to your unease. From this place, love becomes less of a transaction and more of a shared presence. You listen more deeply because you are no longer rehearsing your defense. There is a liberation in realizing that you do not need to solve your entire life today. The soul does not work on deadlines. It unfolds with a rhythm that cannot be rushed without distortion. When you align with this rhythm, patience ceases to feel like waiting and becomes a form of participation. You are moving, even when it looks like stillness. In moments of doubt, remember that uncertainty is not a flaw in the design. It is an invitation to trust something beyond your conditioning. The mind seeks closure because it fears the unknown, but the unknown is where creativity lives. When you stop resisting ambiguity, you open yourself to possibilities that certainty would have excluded. You may notice an impulse to return to old habits of control, especially when change feels imminent. Meet that impulse with kindness rather than judgment. Awareness itself is progress. Each time you notice resistance without feeding it, you weaken its hold. You are learning a new way of being, one that does not rely on tension for momentum. As you continue to let go, life feels less like a series of obstacles and more like a conversation. You listen, you respond, you adjust. You are no longer trying to dominate the dialogue. You are participating in it. And participation brings intimacy, a sense that you are not outside of life looking in, but within it, moving as it moves. This is the paradox the ego cannot grasp. When you stop trying to control the flow, you gain access to a deeper form of influence. Your presence becomes coherent. Your intentions align with something larger than personal gain. And from this alignment, your actions carry a quiet power, one that does not need force to be effective. Remain open to this unfolding. Let the next moment arrive without interrogation. You are not surrendering your intelligence, you are expanding it beyond fear. In this expanded awareness, you find that peace is not fragile. It is resilient, steady, and always available when you stop resisting the life that is already offering itself to you. And as this peace settles more deeply, you begin to sense a gentler relationship with effort itself. You still act, still choose, still create, but the strain has fallen away. Action no longer feels like pushing a heavy door uphill. It feels like responding to an inner invitation. You move because it feels true, not because you are afraid of what will happen if you do not. In this way, effort becomes elegant and discipline becomes devotion rather than punishment. There is a subtle dignity in living this way. You stop broadcasting urgency into every moment. You stop trying to prove that you matter by how busy you are or how much you carry. Your value no longer needs reinforcement. It is assumed quietly, the way the sun assumes its place in the sky without asking to be applauded. From this knowing, self-respect replaces self-criticism and compassion replaces comparison. You may notice that your thoughts begin to lose their sharp edges. They still appear, but they no longer command unquestioned authority. You see them as weather passing through awareness, not as orders you must obey. This distance is not indifference, it is wisdom. When you stop resisting thoughts, they lose their urgency. When you stop believing every story they tell, they soften and reorganize themselves around truth. In this space, intuition has room to breathe. It does not compete with logic, it complements it. It offers guidance that feels whole rather than fragmented, inclusive rather than fearful. You recognize intuition by how it feels in the body, steady, calm, unhurried. It does not rush you toward decisions. It invites you into alignment. There is also a deep humility that emerges when you stop resisting life's unfolding. You realize how little you needed to control for things to work out. How many times you were carried through moments you thought would break you. This humility does not diminish you. It enlarges you. It opens your heart to awe, to reverence, to the quiet miracle of simply being here. As you live from this openness, you begin to trust your capacity to meet whatever arises. Not because you have rehearsed every scenario, but because you have experienced your own resilience. You know now that you can feel deeply without drowning, that you can face uncertainty without collapsing, that you can let go without disappearing. This confidence is not bravado. It is grounded, lived, earned through surrender. Life continues to present contrast, loss and gain, clarity and confusion, endings and beginnings. Letting go does not erase these rhythms. It allows you to move through them without clinging. You grieve without becoming grief. You celebrate without becoming dependent on celebration. You remain anchored in something that does not come and go. This anchoring is your spiritual identity, the part of you that witnesses experience without being consumed by it. It is not distant or aloof. It is intimately involved, yet free. When you live from this center, you no longer ask life to make you whole. You meet life as wholeness itself. And so the practice continues, moment by moment. You notice resistance as it arises, and you soften. You feel fear, and you breathe. You encounter uncertainty, and you trust. Each small act of letting go reinforces the truth that you are supported, guided, and held in ways the thinking mind cannot fully explain. Do not rush this unfolding. There is nowhere else you need to arrive. The miracle is not ahead of you, it is happening now, in your willingness to stay present, to remain open, to meet life without armor. In this meeting, something sacred reveals itself, not as a distant promise, but as a living experience of peace, moving quietly through you, steady and unafraid, reminding you again and again that when you stop resisting, life does not abandon you, it embraces you. And in this embrace, you discover that nothing essential has ever been missing. What you once searched for in effort, in approval, in outcomes, has always lived quietly within you, waiting for stillness to be noticed. The need to become dissolves, replaced by the grace of remembering. You are not arriving at truth. You are relaxing back into it. There is a softness that comes when you stop measuring your life against imagined standards. You begin to live by resonance rather than comparison. What feels aligned draws you forward. What feels heavy releases its hold. This discernment does not require analysis. It arises naturally when you are no longer resisting your own inner guidance. Life simplifies when you trust what feels true. You may sense now how gently existence supports you when you stop demanding guarantees. Each breath arrives without negotiation. Each heartbeat continues without your instruction. This quiet cooperation between you and life has never been broken. It was only obscured by the habit of control. When you let go of that habit, the partnership becomes visible again. There is a deep relief in no longer needing to be everywhere at once. Presence gathers your energy back from the past and the future and offers it to this moment. Here, you are enough. Here, nothing is lacking. Here, peace does not need to be chased because it is not running from you. As you rest in this awareness, compassion expands, not as an obligation, but as a natural response to recognizing yourself in others. You see that everyone is learning how to let go in their own way, at their own pace. Judgment softens because separation fades. Kindness becomes effortless when you remember that the same life moving through you moves through all things. The universe does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be present. It does not require that you understand everything. It invites you to trust what you cannot fully explain. In this trust, fear loosens its grip and curiosity takes its place. Life becomes an exploration rather than a battle. You no longer need to brace yourself against what might happen. You meet each moment with openness, knowing that whatever arrives will be met with the wisdom you already carry. This is not naivete. It is faith grounded in experience, the experience of having survived, learned, and grown each time you chose surrender over resistance. And so you continue, not with certainty, but with confidence in the flow itself. You allow life to move through you as it always has, unobstructed by fear, unburdened by control. In this allowing, miracles do not announce themselves. They simply occur quietly, naturally, as expressions of harmony restored. Stay here, in this gentle knowing. Let the mind rest. Let the heart remain open. Let life reveal itself moment by moment without your interference. You are safe in the unfolding. You are guided in the uncertainty. You are held in something far greater than effort. And as you walk forward from this place, remember, peace was never something you had to earn. It emerges the moment you stop resisting who you are and allow yourself to be carried by the same loving intelligence that has always known the way.